You're watching the Game Changers on our television. Today's Game Changer played a remarkable role to be who he is today. An individual who was awarded with the Asia Pacific Young Entrepreneur Award in 2013, who doesn't need any detailed explanation. Introducing to you, founder, chairman of Caprica.com, Mr. Dulith Herath. Welcome to the show, Dulith.
Thank you.
How are you doing these days? How is life treating you?
Life is busy, and I want it to be busy.
You want it to be busy.
Yes.
Let's have a major throwback to start off with. How was the life of little Dulith? To make it more specific. Were you a mischievous kid, or a very calm and quiet? By the looks, you would have been a calm and quiet individual then. So how did it all start?
Going back to childhood times, I may look calm and quiet, but definitely was, taking risk and doing all sort of mischievous stuff. Right?
That's how every kid is.
Yeah,
so moving on.
Most of the things I've built from childhood, starting from little robots to projects to wanting to hack something, that kind of things, always actually you can label it more into the mischievous and risk-taking category than calm and quiet.
When you say hacking, where did you start hacking first?
So there's a dumb kid, right, in every adult. So you go back and I think, did I actually do that kind of thing? So there are a lot of experiences like that in childhood. We would want to remove licensing from a software by myself, right? Try to create a keyword generator for getting a serial key for Photoshop because I didn't want to go and buy Photoshop, right? So like loads of, and I was creating teams. From childhood itself, I was trying to find like-minded people to join with me. So I was never alone doing these things. I always had buddies around me.
Okay, was it the same?
Actually, my mom, I remember her. So I had a room upstairs, right, in my house. She had to downgrade me into the downstairs into a corner room because I had so many friends always coming upstairs, and she got sick of sweeping the floor. Right? Every day, 20 kids running up and down from school, and so she actually downgraded me near to the door, so the people can come in and out.
Okay. So it was always active.
Yeah, it's like a shop front, even at home. So.
Fantastic start. So how was your days at school? Let's say the primary section. Were you good at sports or studies or extracurricular activities?
I was very shy with sports. I mean, I went to Royal College from childhood, but to be honest, I never touched a cricket bat in my whole life. I haven't done a single damn sport except chess. Can't call that really a sport.
But it develops your...
Yeah, but I haven't, I'm kind of conflicts with the geeky type, right? If you really put in sports in there, I never did it.
Were you involved in gaming?
Yeah, well, I was not into the gaming. I was more into the coding of the gaming.
Coding of the game.
Coding of the gaming. Sometimes, back in the days, things were not on CDs or on the internet, so they all came on discs. Yeah. So you had to, we would, buy one copy and figure out ways to make multiple copies with other friends. That was the fun part of it.
Okay, so you studied in the math stream for your A-levels, and then surprising to see you as an entrepreneur. Normally when you're in the math stream, your parents and everyone around you, loved ones, expect you to be an engineer. But were you rude in your decision to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, there's only two, right? You have to either take biology or commerce or maths. There was no entrepreneurship to go with. So the closest to what I was doing, my passion was engineering. So I didn't know the term entrepreneur, but I would have had it from childhood. But so maths was my obvious choice, and I love maths. Honestly,
you like numbers.
I love maths, and even up to today, that's why I'm still coding. So the thinking is the same, right? The process is the same.
I understand. Right after you left college, like school, Royal College, you entered university. Was it based in Sri Lanka or?
Yes, it was based here, but then I immediately managed to get a scholarship to go to the US. And so that's when, of Kentucky, and then I chose that because of robotics. So even at that time, I had not made up my mind whether I want to be into software or anything like that, but robotics and electronics was my passion at that time.
All right. So before Caprica, was Microsoft your first and only job?
The first job. The second job was actually at Dell. Yeah, Dell Computers, but into the software section of Dell Computers. But yeah, Microsoft was the first job.
So how was it at Microsoft?
I still remember the first day I walked into my cubicle. I got oriented, and I really felt like I'm in a huge beehive. I mean, I would get up and I could not see the end of the groups there, and I could almost start seeing ladders all around me. People trying to climb the corporate ladders, right? So, and there are queues to those ladders, right? So pretty much, I mean, you can visualize it, and I felt very unimportant actually, even though it was a big paycheck and Microsoft, and I felt, oh my God, this is a huge race I have joined, and I'm replaceable, right? Very fast. If Dulith quits today, HR will get a call tomorrow and they'll replace Dulith. Next day there'll be another guy sitting in that chair. Right? So I understood that from day one. More than being excited about joining the race, I almost felt like, no, I need to figure out how to withdraw from this race. So that's when Caprica came up.
Definitely, it is, as you said, it is a competitive place to work and might be interesting. Do you give that exposure? Like, is that the environment at Caprica too? Like,
see, you cannot compare a company like Microsoft to a company like Caprica, really, because it's in a large company, the culture is really made in a lab. Okay, you research and you create a culture profile and you try to apply it to a large, 20,000 employees. But a company like Caprica, which was built from ground up and which is still in that size of less than 500 employees, you can create unique cultures. Right? So in Caprica today, it's a very unique culture that I've created to the, it's actually, I call it the Ayanangi Akamalli culture. Right?
That's how you call it?
Yeah, that's what I call it, because it's very localized. I mean, I have white collar, I have software engineers, I have graphic designers, and I have florists and bakers and delivery drivers. All these people working together, so they are in that localized Ayanangi Akamalli culture.
You think the bond when you call them like that, like when the culture is like that,
it's
that
much stronger, because see, I've seen both sides. I worked at larger companies, and then why did I choose to build this, right, in a different way? So I know both sides, and this works better. I don't think I can do this if it is 2,000 employees today in the company, but I can still do it within that 500 limit.
It's getting even more interesting, but we'll have to go to a short commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with this young, energetic entrepreneur on the Game Changers. Welcome back. You're watching the Game Changers on our television. To start off this second segment, Dulith, what is Caprica? What does it mean? I mean, the name.
The name means the wishing tree. It's a wishing tree. It's called the Kalparuksha. It's supposed to be a tree in heaven. Apparently, there is one like that you go under and you ask for whatever you want and you get it. And so it's like the wishing well. Something similar to that wishing tree. But the main reason why I picked it is it gives me the freedom to sell whatever I want, like Amazon. Right? They are not limited to a category. So and also it's very difficult to misspell. Right? No matter how hard you try, you cannot misspell Caprica.com. So I had to pick a name like that because it's very important when you tell somebody, because they're going to go and type it up, right? So it's a brand you're trying to create.
So did this come overnight or you thought it?
I'm very picky on the naming part, even from back in the days. So I would spend quite a bit of time on the naming. So everything I've created, even up to today, all the other companies as well, the name is very important. It's almost a person and a personality. It's not a company. I'm building a person.
I understand. So it has a very deep meaning. Those two. Back then in 2002, where Caprica started, that's 15 years from today, we didn't have a lot of facilities. We didn't have 4G. So how did you manage to plant Caprica?
See, I had an advantage, right? Because I was, at that time, I was in the US. So I saw the e-commerce really rising up like a tsunami. And I knew this wave is going to come to Asia, Sri Lanka, etc. So I just had an early start. But when I started, the infrastructure was not there in Sri Lanka. So what I did was I created the infrastructure. I mean, I started my own delivery company. I started even the payment gateways were linked with the US payment gateways. Even Sri Lankan gateways were not available, and cash on delivery sort of things were created at very early stage for Sri Lankans to use it. And still there was not enough of a market. So that's when Caprica, early days when I started, it was focused at the expats, Sri Lankans who live outside the country, who knew the brands. But now, that is like 20% compared to our local demand now in Sri Lanka. But that's how the market was penetrated early.
Some challenges that you faced, like when definitely you would have gone through a lot, but something that you cannot forget that you came. And how did you obviously overcome them?
Actually, I cannot really highlight as one big challenge that I got stuck and was stuck there for a long time. I'm trying hard to remember one. I really can. Every day there is a different challenge, and I wake up to challenges. Right? I tell this, when I wake up in the morning, if somebody tells today is a perfect day, nothing to worry about, that will upset me. Right? Give me problems every morning. Tell me something is messed up, so I can have fun fixing it.
Yeah, I understand. From any part of the world, anyone can make their loved ones happy through Caprica.com. So that's the gift delivery part, early stages Caprica was famous for. Right. So how this concept, it was brand new to Sri Lanka, like calling from overseas and you get a gift at their house, that's surprising to Sri Lankans then. How did you put this concept into the minds of people?
It's a supply and the demand, right? So at that time, when I started early on, there were Sri Lankans were not used to ordering a product by themselves and stay at home for this guy to come and deliver it to you. But the expats were used to that. And they had the need, me myself also being an expat at that time, I had the need to always send something back to Sri Lanka. So that's when the initial type of transactions were that, right? But then again, the hard part is not that. The hard part is not about getting the order on the website. It's about getting that delivery done, not to Rajagiriyo, Nugegoda, to Matale and Puttalam and Anuradhapuram, right? So imagine getting a product all the way, all those through those hoops, and these are perishable sometimes. Within that certain limit, because we don't have UPS, FedEx, and all these Western companies who are doing door-to-door deliveries in Sri Lanka. So that was the hard part to crack, more than the internet part.
Might be your delivery team is having a fantastic. I saw a post on your Facebook page when you said delivery is something key. Yeah. It stated that to me these are the true heroes of any brand. One of my delivery team sent me this picture, the picture of them having lunch together. Yeah. So, do you give a lot of priority?
They are my heroes. I mean, I feel like bowing in front of them, honestly speaking, because these guys, they get scolded when they are 10 minutes late, right? They don't have a place to go to the bathroom. They are on the road all the time. They have to, go to restaurants to use the bathroom, right? And they leave office at 5 o'clock in the morning. When the engines of Caprica van start at 4 a.m., they shut down at 9 p.m., right? And usually we put 2 delivery guys, so one takes a break while the other guy drives. So it's that kind of a difficult job. You don't see it because when the guy walks in, gives it to you, he leaves. That's only a 2-minute engagement. But what he had gone through to find parking, get through the security, coming to you and finding you are the wrong guy, waiting till you finish a meeting to give you that product. So it's, they're heroes.
That's fantastic. Today, with the latest trends, Caprica Global Shop is something people talk about a lot. What is Caprica Global Shop?
Right. So I've built 3 things in my life, right? Caprica Global Shop, and Grasshoppers. Caprica Global Shop is what I created to connect large e-commerce companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Alibaba, etc. to Sri Lanka. So when you want to buy a pair of shoes, Nike shoes from Amazon, what are you going to do today? You're going to order it to a friend's house and tell the guy, when you come to Sri Lanka, bring it to me. I don't even need the box, just put it in a bag and bring it to me, right? So that's the problem I solved by giving you, let us order it for you. We will bring it down for you. We will do the customs clearance for you. We'll do that whole jing bang for 5% of the item price.
That's 5%.
5% of the item price. So the duty, the shipping, all that is transparent to you, right? So it's a very, so I built an import simulator. So when you put a link of any Western Amazon website link to that, it shows you the Sri Lankan picture for this product. This is the product price, this is the shipping, this is the duty, or we say we cannot bring it in. Like for example, it's a drone. No, we will say we cannot bring it in because it needs special approval. Yeah. So it's a very unique zero inventory model where we have no stock. Even I see trends, I see 10 to 15 people ordering this Fitbit every week, right? But we still don't keep it on stock. We order per demand.
So how long does the delivery process
10 days.
take? 10 days. Within
so
10
I've
days
set up 2 warehouses in the US, one in Ohio and one in New Jersey. So everything you order here gets shipped to our warehouse in the US and it gets consolidated. So your iPhone will get consolidated with somebody's teddy bear, right? And it gets deboxed, right? So we debox it. So when you order a product from Amazon, it comes in a shoe box, even if you order a memory chip, right? So we remove the box, we take the product out, we bag it, and we give you actually a rate of about $3 per pound all the way from New York to Sri Lanka, right? So you can, a laptop is about 2 pounds. So for $6, you can ship a laptop from the US to Sri Lanka using this method because of the deboxing and the consolidation. So if I had to just ship one item all the way from the US to here just for you, would have been 5 times the cost.
Exactly. So that's something interesting to look into, like someone from Jaffna wanting to get involved with the Caprica Global Shop. Even he's getting his item in 10 days?
Yeah, because see, out of the 10 days, 8 days is for the international transit. And you are going to get 5 SMSs. Okay, your item is ordered from Amazon, now it's in our warehouse, now it's in a plane, now it's in Sri Lanka Customs, now it's with Caprica, now it's on the way to you. So you are updated through SMSs, you kind of fall in love with the product and wait for it to arrive.
Yeah, 10 days is like
it's
quite
fine.
Yeah,
it's fine, right? I mean, we are trying to improve it to 7 days. It's because of, but due to 7 days is practically possible. But we said 10. You can't you can under deliver after you overpromise.
Okay, from 2002, when did Caprica Global Shop start?
Caprica Global Shop is about 4 years old.
4 years
yes.
old. So
and actually the first year was entirely pilot. We learned a lot from it. We lost a lot of money early first year because we got duty codes wrong, packages went missing, people were stealing items, all sort of teething issues. But in the last 3 years, it has been a phenomenal experience. And it's not heard of in other developing countries. So this is a kind of it's a patented product. Actually, the simulator is patented by us.
Okay. So Coca-Cola, a global brand, sold only 25 bottles in their first year. That's a statement which is being circulated all around. So how was Caprica start back then in 2000?
Oh, I remember 5 orders a week was a celebration.
5 orders a
week was like, wow, and now we do 900 orders a day. So
that's the start.
That was the start. No, we didn't get 1 order a week was the start, right? People are not heard of. So then 5 orders a week was a celebration. And then Yes.
I understand the situation. So, what is your message? All startups in Sri Lanka or around in the world, they need money to flow in when they start. That's the mindset of people. What is your message to them?
You don't necessarily need to start getting transactions from day one. I think I tell all the startups, all the entrepreneurs, really do a control pilot, right? Control pilot, and spend some more time on the pilot, understand the trend and the setup of it, and then focus on acceleration, right? So you got to really go in that first gear for some time, and then check your engine out.
If you start accelerating at the right beginning, you might knock somewhere.
You will most likely spin off, right? So, but that's just one advice. There's 100 advices for entrepreneurs, but
yeah, it's one cut and right advice. So, Lankan e-com Dulith Herath meets Jack Ma of Alibaba was a big news on social media. Something new coming up?
Actually, so first, Alibaba is not interested in coming to Sri Lanka. That is no, not at least now. Why he met me was actually he picked an entrepreneur from all developing countries, one guy to meet him. So he got me picked, and I actually had 20 minutes like this with him.
That's why we said that Dulith Herath is a real game changer. So yes, let's continue.
He's just what he's. If a president of a country or a politician wants to meet Jack Ma, he will not even open that email, or he's not interested. But if a hard-working entrepreneur from a developing country, he's interested in that kind of people, right? And he's very much into entrepreneurship and building grassroots level people to rise up. So my project Grasshoppers is about letting a lot of smaller companies to do e-commerce. So that's what interested him, right? So he is into boosting e-commerce in Africa, in the other developing countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan. So that's why I'm on his radar on this project.
So it's all about grasshoppers. So
it was pretty much about impact of small e-commerce companies rising up, because this Alibaba platform is really a combination of so many smaller vendors selling on one platform, right? But I got every word he says as, to be honest, I am too dumb to understand his vision, right? I don't think I can compare my vision to his vision, because his vision is probably 15 miles ahead of mine. Some things he says doesn't make sense to me, right? I'll give you one example. He said, Dulith, stop cash on delivery. I was like, what? That's 90% of my business, right? Like, no, stop it. If you stop it, people will change and they'll start using credit cards. So I have to
they will start using credit
card. They will force it. So I disagree with that, right? But I can't, because you're Jack Ma. And I'm thinking, so am I not getting this right? So then I realized, look, I don't have Alipay, I don't have MasterCard and Visa with me. So maybe that's how you think. But then again, some dumb things like that he would have said to me. Now he has proven wrong. So he's been proven right, where the disagreed people are proven wrong. So I am very hard. There are statements like that from him. Then again, there was a statement from him like, Dulith, hire 30% women for your leadership in your company.
Right? For leadership in your company.
Top management, middle management have a ratio of 30-70. 30 should be women because they work better than men. Right? That's also hard to digest immediately, right?
Yeah,
but it's Jack Ma telling me this is the world's richest man. So I have to give it some credit and think about it 5 times, then disagreeing the first time. So there are a lot of stuff like that we
interesting. That's really interesting. So we'll have to go to a short commercial break. Wait, we'll be back with another exciting segment on the Game Changers. We are back with the third segment with Dulith Herath, founder chairman, Caprica.com. Unforgettable day in your life. to put it straight?
That's a tough one.
There are many, is it?
Yeah, no, actually to find one good one. Okay, I think it's the day I decided, all the companies, like Caprica and Caprica Global Shop, I resist people investing into my companies. I want to do it on my own, right? I use my profits to build something organically so I can make all the shots and all the calls. But when I started Grasshoppers, I wanted to grow it exponentially very fast. So I had to make a decision, am I going to get an investor in or not? So I remember that day that I had to decide, okay, I'm going to do it or not. It was a very difficult decision. So I made that
We'll
decision.
come to that.
Come to Grasshoppers.
Okay. That's the next question. What's Grasshoppers all about? Like Sri Lankans might think it's something to do with a zoo. But what's Grasshoppers all about?
It's Grasshoppers is, the big tagline under it is inclusive e-commerce. Getting everybody to do e-commerce. Okay.
Before we go to that, why did you pick Grasshopper?
Helping grassroots level people to hop.
Wow.
Okay. So it's not because the delivery happens hop to hop to hop. It is also that, but the primary reason for the insect name. And also, did you know grasshoppers? They jump 25 times their height and they can only jump forward. And there are so many attributes about a grasshopper that I admire to put into this name.
So it can't jump.
You cannot go sideways, nothing, you can just go jump forward.
If you want to turn back,
you got to sit and turn around and jump again.
Wow. I'm getting to it right now.
Right.
So let's talk about Grasshoppers. So what is it all about?
So it's very simply a kind of an elevator pitch for Grasshoppers is, it's an ecosystem based delivery network where we deliver products of you. It's a B2B company. So if you are a small enterprise who wants to sell products online, let's say you're selling t-shirts online and you are getting 5 orders a day, you need a courier company or a delivery company to deliver your product to anywhere in the country and collect the money for you and bring it back to you. So because anywhere in the country means they are not having credit cards, they are going to order it cash on delivery. So the Grasshopper has to go from hop to hop to hop, deliver it to the guy on the top of the mountain, collect your cash, bring it back to the merchant within a reasonable time because you are an SME, you have a cash flow issues, so I need to get you the money back in a very short time.
That's something the SMEs they might have to get the cash back.
That's
so
that's a key pain
days?
point. I mean, now today if you give it to a traditional courier company, it will take months to get the cash back, and the failure rate of cash collection is very, very high.
Returns
are not handled even properly. Either you need to get your money back or you have to get your product back, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we do such Grasshoppers is set up to do that without having to invest on so much infrastructure. So I am not going around the country setting up these DHL sort of hubs and spoke methods. We are looking entrepreneurs themselves who are established in those areas to be our hubs, right? So it's really the whole company is only 20 employees, right? The whole Grasshopper, including the CEO, is only 20 employees, but we are doing island-wide delivery. So thousands of riders, hundreds of hubs. So it's a unique setup. It's an ecosystem-based.
All right. So say that someone from Kandy wants to get into your business. How does the link happen?
Good question. So the Kandy guy has an online brand. Let's say he's selling a simple product. It could be whatever a product. Okay. He puts up a website and he gets an order from one from Rajagiri, one from Kandy itself, and one from Anuradhapura because he's on social media pushing the product, right? Yes. Somebody agrees to buy. Agreeing to buy is not about filling a form. These days is social commerce. They will agree to buy you on WhatsApp or Viber or Facebook message. I say, I want this. Here's my address.
That's directly done.
Right. That's the closing of the deal happens on those platforms. Now he's stuck with the problem. How do I get this delivery? Right? You got the order. Now what? So he'll have a Grasshopper hub in Kandy that he can simply walk into and hand over this.
Which is already existing.
Yeah, which is we are setting up actually. There's about 53 hubs setting up.
Okay.
So it depends. Now, right now in Negombo we have a fully fledged hub. So if your example was Negombo, he can actually do it today. So it's really B2B. You have to have a business. I'm not doing personal package deliveries. I would not be able to get your lunch from your home to you. It has to be a company.
Okay. So That's how it works. Let's say that he wants to, let's say the Nigambo example, are they all linked, like say customer base
Yeah.
and the company?
Yeah, I mean, it's the software that we built, right? So we have full visibility to everything that's happening in these hubs. How many local sales we are generating, how many sales we are pushing through them, what kind of inventory they are holding right now, how many cash settlements they have failed to do. All these things are there, right?
So they'll be getting the feedback within 1 week's time?
Oh no, I mean, this is next day delivery.
Next day delivery.
Yeah, this is local, right?
Interesting. Do you think every business in Sri Lanka, like when you walk on the streets of Colombo down Gaul Road, every business in Sri Lanka should get in touch with e-commerce?
You must. I mean, I cannot stress this enough, right? I mean, the whole reason for doing Grasshoppers is also to make sure that the enabler, the difficult barrier was delivery. So I have solved that now. I have small SMEs who are now selling sometimes on Grasshoppers, who are selling larger than the big boys that we have. You know, we have big boy customers, so the kind of blue chip companies using Grasshoppers to do deliveries. And I have these small, Aya and Malli guys together in a room selling compared to them. I mean, number of transaction wise. So it's very encouraging for.
So it's a must, says Dulith Herath.
It's a must.
What is digital marketing all about, like in a nutshell?
It's very hard to put that in a nutshell. But if I look at the most important thing about digital marketing is you get immediate measurements, right? So when you do a TV ad, or when you put up a billboard, or when you do leaflets, you don't see an immediate response. You cannot measure the impact of that ad. So digital marketing, you can. End of the day, you can see how many people clicked on it, how many transactions you got from it, how much it cost you. You can change directions on a day-to-day basis, right? And it's cheap. I mean, it's 1/100th of a cost of traditional marketing, right? And it's measurable, and it's controllable on a day-to-day basis, right? So, one day you may decide to use Instagram, and then tomorrow you will decide to use PPC Google, and the next day to Facebook. Right? So you can do ABC tests.
The audience is wide, is it?
Not more than the audience is wide, the audience is now there.
The audience
they are not
is there.
on the traditional media anymore, right? So you have to go there.
Even on the roads, you see people with a phone.
Yeah, you bump into people. Yeah, of course.
So, are we Sri Lankans using it the right way?
It's a good question. No, we are in the learning curve of digital marketing. I see a lot of people doing it entirely wrong, but I give them the benefit of the doubt because look, they're in the learning curve. I'll give you one example. How many spam emails do you get a day from various e-commerce companies? Not e-commerce companies, email campaigners. You get a whole lot, right? How many have you bought from any of those? Almost none, right? Right, not even one. That's because people think, okay, I am getting a mail, which I don't even read, but can I send a similar mail like that about my product also? Which doesn't work. So these blanket email campaigns.
So when you talk about these email campaigns, that's digital, but does it target a different target market, like someone from 35 to 45?
So I'm starting from the most simplest digital marketing, which is email marketing, right? So that's something people get it very wrong, and what they are not getting reports back from these email campaign companies. They will say, okay, you got 10,000 clicks, but you don't really have a proper way of measuring that and all that. So that's disconnected.
This is not to harm anybody.
No, this is not to harm anybody, but they're not doing it right, and it's unethical. They're blasting people with all these unnecessary mails. It's creating brand damage. So the second one is actually Facebook marketing, and what people are not doing right there is, Facebook is a social media, but by definition, your ads needs to be social. Okay, imagine you and I are having a coffee here. We are in a social setup, and a guy runs in here and says, "Would you like to buy this phone?" So we are in the social setup. You get annoyed by that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So you have to make your ads localized to be social, right? So your ad doesn't necessarily have to have a price tag on it. It could be a funny ad. So it could be something related to what's going on today, but your brand is connected with it. Right? Now I've seen this ad just this morning from Caprica. They don't be silly. That means don't use silly bag. Right? And that's a perfect ad for social. Right?
People tend to look at it.
People tend to look at it because you are in that mindset. You know, you go to social media to look to see what other people are doing, right? So you are not there to see ads. But if your ad is related to that setup, so you have to be localized, or not localized, actually you have to be native, that's the word. You have to be native to the platform. But, okay, now the third one, Google. If you are putting ads onto Google based on a keyword, be very bold about your offer. Okay, you are targeting people who are searching for Samsung J7 mobile phone, right? You search that and your ad needs to say exactly that. Samsung Mobile 7J phone, best price in Sri Lanka, this 70,000 rupees, here's your ad. There people are looking for it. Where is my ad? Where is the result? Right? So see the social setup, they are not looking for ads, but you need to be strategic.
Exactly.
Look at the Google setup, they're looking for it. So show them what they want. So
it differs from platform to platform.
And be native. So you are native, like that. Native means, you know, you are in Sri Lanka in one way, you are in Canada in another way, right? So
it's the way you should put it out. Right?
Yeah. So a lot of people make that mistake. So your question again was, what are people doing wrong in this? What they do is they kind of put everything everywhere and don't measure it.
It's clear. Generally, e-commerce, which parts of the island? Obviously, Colombo, we use a lot of. I believe that Colombo uses a lot.
No, that's there are 43 towns in Sri Lanka. Okay. Matara, Ratnapura, Galton, Anuradhapura. People all focus on this little thing called Colombo, and it's just a keyhole. Okay, there's so much out there, and if I look at our data, I will have 30-40 orders a day to Puttalam from grasshoppers, right? These people outside have more of a need to buy online products. They have the phone now and they go see all these platforms today, like it could be My Deal, it could be Ikman, it could be all these other marketplaces, and they buy cash on delivery. You don't need a credit card. So the youth in Puttalam, to buy a kettle from Colombo, you don't need a credit card now. So he has only 3 choices in Puttalam, right, to buy a kettle. But the guy in Colombo has a kettle shop every half a kilometer. So he doesn't need to go online and do all that. He can actually get one himself or get somebody to do it for him. But a guy so there's so much demand from out of Colombo, from rural for e-commerce. Right. So it's wrong to think that we are. In fact, some of the digital marketing that you do can be targeted to those zones. So you will pay less money as well. So you say, I exclude Sri Lanka, Colombo, Western Province, in some of our campaigns. Exclude it. If there's no need. I mean, you burn out your money too fast for no ROI, but you have a higher ROI on the other segments.
Where is e-commerce in Sri Lanka moving towards?
It's going at 100% plus year-on-year rate, right? Growth. It's scary fast, right? And that's a great indication. What I want to make sure is that inclusive e-commerce, like Jack Ma and I was talking, that is to get all the people to be included in e-commerce, then a huge giant like Caprica, one or two, 3 companies having the whole pie. If you go to US, it's already happened. Amazon has eaten the whole pie. No other small e-commerce company can ever rise because Amazon is so tall, right?
Yeah,
same thing has
tall
happened.
And strong.
Tall, you cannot compete with them. So you kind of dictate the market, right? But if you take some countries like Germany and some Middle Eastern countries, etc., they do inclusive e-commerce where pretty much all the shops are already online. So a giant cannot just rise free of charge. You understand? So that's my mission of Grasshoppers. I want to get everybody to be on e-commerce. I'm going to brand and tell, do e-commerce. So they're asking, why you are Mr. Caprica? You want me to compete with you? Like, yes, because it will help me to grow the market. Right?
Definitely. That's what I wanted to ask you next.
Right.
Have you ever failed competition in Sri Lanka?
I love competition. I mean, that's competition. You should never underestimate the power of competition because that really drives you. Right? I wake up in the morning and you tell me there are no competitors for your segment. What a boring life that is. Right? And And okay, let's say, I have a let's say you have a coffee shop down the street. You're the only coffee shop, right? And a guy opens another coffee shop next to you. Natural thinking is, oh my God, right? That's not the way I look at it. I look at market being improved. I look at more people coming to my area for coffee. You go to PETA, you get a street full of wedding cards, right? 60 shops down that street. People are waiting to get into a shop. There are small space. The guy comes and opens another wedding card shop. Why? Because competition and so many people flock to that area, the market has grown up, right? So competition is a blessing. It's not a problem.
Will something interesting that the people around looking for e-commerce platforms, will the government involve in this soon?
Government will not be involved in this until this is very big, right? Until, because there's so much going on, and I don't see the government really. If you look at even other developing countries, government don't mess with e-commerce. E-commerce, there's nothing much to mess with it. It's another retailer, right? It's retail, really. So if you give it different rules other than retail rules, let's say how a food city works or Arpico works, and if you put different rules on how Caprica works compared to those, that will be a problem. It will be unfair, and that will not be looked at as a positive thing from a global view as well.
Exactly.
Right? So it's retail, really.
So the government will not involve for
That's my
companies?
guess. I'm a guy who navigates. No matter what direction, whether the government is negative or positive, or are we going down the drain, or are we uphill climbing, I don't let that bother my journey. I find ways to do what I want to do without the support of the government and waiting for the government.
Exactly. So 40 minutes is not at all permitting me to ask all what I have to ask, but one single, let's put it all in one, and your message to 21 million people out there.
Simple message is, no matter what industry you are in, you don't need to be necessarily selling products. You need to be having an e-part in it. So it can be from e-channeling to e-booking to e-product related, whatever the business you are in, make sure that you have a segment of your business connected to the e-part. Right? I can't call it e-commerce because not necessarily everything is e-commerce, right? So don't ignore that, because that is the world is going to be run by e-commerce companies in the next 10 years. So be inclusive.
Be inclusive, says Dulith Herath, founder chairman of Caprica.com. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time here with us. It's a pleasure, and it adds more color to the Game Changers. Thank you again for being here. So we wish Caprica.com and Dulith Herath's subsidiaries to grow and flourish in the years to come. We'll be back in your screens next week with another exciting episode of the Game Changers. Till then, goodbye.